So if you don't have a lot of time to trade during the day for whatever reason, maybe you have a job, you have a family, you have children, you just don't have 30 minutes, 1 hour, let alone 2 hours to spend in front of the charts, you just want to trade for 5, 10, 15 minutes, it's absolutely possible to do so. This isn't a BS video. It might sound that way a little bit, but I'm going to show you right now. And also, if you're the kind of trader that doesn't like to stay in trades for too long, maybe emotionally it's a little bit difficult to be in a trade for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, and you can see your P&L fluctuate, and during that time you're overthinking, maybe you're breaking even too early, maybe you're closing your trades too early. This one, you're going to be in and out of the trade in literally 5, 20, 30 seconds, 1 minute. And I'm going to show that to you right now. It's a strategy that is going to be traded on the 1 minute, of course, and during New York Open on NASDAQ. You can try this, I'm sure, on things with high volatility, NQ, NASDAQ, maybe also during New York Open. You can try this on a US 30 on the Dow Jones, and you can try this, I'm guessing, on Bitcoin would work pretty well, but you have to test that for yourself, okay? So let's get right into it, because this strategy is not only efficient and fast, it's extremely simple. We are pre-New York Open. Let's look at the first candle of New York. This one is the first candle of New York right here, okay? Let's put a line on it, right? And the first trade you can see I took at 8:36, so 6 minutes into New York. And the second trade, usually I take just one trade, but the second trade was even better than the first one, so I had to take it. This one was 11 minutes into New York. So in 11 minutes, you can make $100, $200, $300, maybe just $50, whatever you're trading, whatever amount you're trading, maybe $1,000. Okay, so let's get into it. First, before the open of New York, you're going to draw some boxes right here on the 1 minute. Don't even have to look at too many time frames. Just chill on the 1 minute and draw some boxes of support and resistance, right? Look at what was going on before New York. You can see here you had support, broke through, retested, support again, blah, blah, blah. And right at New York, you can see we wick below, actually test that small level of 1 minute support here as well. Push up, wick. So we can see we're reacting from these levels. So these are valid levels of support. And what happens? We end up breaking through it. And then I'm going to get into how you enter that trade, because you're not just going to enter after this candle. You're going to wait for a top wick. But so first step, you draw your levels of support and resistance, and you're essentially looking for a breakout and a close below that level of support. In this case, for shorts, once you have your close with volume, so you don't want to see a crappy little candle closing below, okay? And also you don't want to see a close below with a big wick, right? So you want to see a healthy bearish candle like this one, which closed below this support and this support. A small wick at the bottom, that's fine. You don't want to see a long wick like this one. And then what you're looking for, I'm really going to zoom in here. Once that candle closed below, looks like a high volume, healthy, bearish candle, you're not going to enter short right away. You're going to wait to see what this candle is going to do. You want it to put a top wick and then flip bearish. What you're going to do as soon as you see that candle go up, you're going to put either a limit sell order right here, not right here at where it flips, a little bit below of when it flips, okay? You see what I mean? Not right here. That's a bit too early. Just put an order here. Either you put a limit order, or sometimes it's just going to go so fast because this wick up could be 2-3 seconds and then go right back down. So what I do now, I started with limit orders, but I've been missing too many trades. So I just have my finger on the trigger, on the sell button, and as soon as I see this go up, I'm ready. And as soon as I see flip it black, boom, I click the button, all right? And then what happens from here? First thing I do as soon as I'm in the trade, slide my stop loss up here, right? First thing, and then set my TP. This trade, I mean, most of these trades, they really, I mean it, guys, they last 5, 10, 20 seconds once you're in the trade. It goes really fast. And here, so I had another level of support. So you could make an argument that I was shorting into support, and you got to be aware of that. But I also had some lows, a target right here. And we know that New York likes to take highs and lows. I spoke about that in previous videos when I had a similar strategy on the 5-minute, but now I've kind of molded that, changed that strategy a little bit to be just more efficient. But we know they like to grab highs. As you can see, they grabbed the high before going down, which, by the way, was another confluence for us to go short because we know they grabbed the highs. Where are they going to go next? Well, they're going to go to the next lows, most likely. So here, even though I was shorting into support, and you can see that we did have a reaction, I was aiming at these lows. You know they're going to grab these stop losses down there, right? Okay, moving on to the next trade. Now we broke that level of support. We go down, strong, beautiful, healthy bearish candle, top wick, click the sell button once it flips black. Again, not right at the flip right here, a little bit lower, and then you're in and out in 20 seconds, 5 seconds, very often. The first thing you do, guys, when you get into that trade, as soon as you're in it, you slide your stop loss. You can give it a little bit of space, not too much. Your stop loss right here at the highs, okay? And then you set your TP. You can also mark it out of your trade. You figure out where you want to take TP. You can see that oftentimes it's going to go more than 1-to-1. Sometimes it's just going to keep on going for the whole session. You figure that out for yourself. Now I'm going to show you every trade that I took here since I started at the end of September with this particular specific strategy. Let's go. This trade now here. New York Open. This is the first candle of the New York Open. What do? These bastards? Of course, they're going to trap some longs, grab these highs. It's no accident. And then boom, flip bearish. So you could think, why am I not entering on this candle? Well, for the same reason. They could be, first of all, this candle did close with a long wick at the bottom. I said I don't like that. And it did close kind of below here. If you kind of see this area as the support, it did close below. But again, had this wick, and it's always a possibility that now we're going to reverse and go back the other way. It's totally possible with NQ. This is why I waited for this candle. Also, it was the first candle. I don't take a trade on the first or second candle. I take a trade. The earliest I go is the third candle, okay? So here we now have a retest, and we close beautiful bearish candle with strong volume. And here we have another top wick, which retests again perfectly that level of support resistance flip. And then the candle flips bearish, and the rest is history. And what do we have here? A little target, some lows down here. We did have, you could say this was a bit of a level of support, but again, guys, we have volume. So even though we do have a level of support here, we broke the previous support. We have strong volume, strong momentum. We have our slingshot effect. I like to look at these top wicks as a slingshot. You pull it and then boom, the candle goes, right? So pull the slingshot up and it just shoots down, all right? So we have all of that momentum. So yes, there is a bit of a 1-minute support here, but you have a beautiful target. You know they're gonna go for these lows. It's just a perfect recipe to go in. So then look, this one at 8:30, wait, was that the second candle? No, that was the third. 8:32 was the third candle. 8:33, 8:34, I'm done trading for the day. Or you're done trading for the day if you want. Then you can see if you had some other setups. You see, this is an example that I wouldn't have taken that trade. And I didn't. I was probably watching the charts. This one kind of broke below, first of all, not clearly, and it's not high volume. So I'm not going to take the next one. It would have worked out, but you really want to see a strong high volume candle. And the best is at the open. That's why this strategy is so good, is that you could be out after the first 5-10 minutes, because that's where the most volume is going to be. All right, moving on. I'm going to go a bit faster through the next trades now. I don't want to over-explain. I think it's so simple and clear. If you do have questions, because there's some things that I didn't explain well, or you would, some things you want to figure out, just ask in the comments. I will answer you. I'm very happy to do so. Okay, New York Open. This is the first candle. Strong bearish close, not quite below the lows, and also we have this wick. As you can see, we respect that level of support, and then we break through very well here with a beautiful bearish candle. Top wick entry, and you can see, guys, you can let if you like to let your trades ride, that's fine, but here we're about in and out, 5, 10, 20 seconds, 1 minute. Well, actually, to be fair, guys, this trade was longer than a minute, okay, so I'm sorry about that. you're going to be in a trade for more than a minute every once in a while. And like 6 minutes into the New York Open, you're done trading for the day. I kept on going a little bit. This was a little bit greedy, to be honest. It's not great. It's not great because we, you know, the level was here. Now you could say we broke out from this little 1 minute level. Not a fan of that trade. I wouldn't advise going. It's beautiful because we have this strong bearish momentum that keeps on going. We have this small top wick, but I wouldn't advise you taking that trade. All right, moving on. Yes, we have a loss. Good. Let's show the dark side of the markets. So here, a very good setup, I find. A little bit difficult, and I'll explain why. So, okay, New York Open is all the way down here, 8:30. That's the first candle. We trap some shorts, right? We fail to go down. Strong momentum to the upside. Third candle, we're now very bullish, obviously, and we close above this level of, it was resistance here, support, it was support here, resistance, resistance. We close above it. We have a nice target here, which we end up taking, you can see, but there was just a lot of screwing around here. And bottom wick, we go up, but we just start ranging. Then we do go at the high. Don't quite take the highs. Maybe we took them on the futures, actually. This isn't the futures chart. And we go down. I took a loss here. Honestly, I should have broke even once I saw this wick. I think I was a bit frustrated that it wasn't going my way. And I said, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to stay in it. And I got what I deserved. So just small loss, but that's absolutely fine. Just learn from your mistakes. Let's see here. Oh, these were two break-evens. To be fair, my entries weren't right. They weren't right. So two break-evens, which you can see would have worked out beautifully, but this is what happened here. So first of all, let's see what time the actual open is. And it was later in the session. Okay. So here, this is the first candle of New York Open. We go up, you know, there's no trade here, no trade. We're not breaking out of anything. Ranging, we break out here of this level, which is the reason I went long, but it's not a good long because we wicked here, strong wick, close below this level. So there was no good reason for me to go long here. And what happened, I don't recall exactly, but I think we went up here, and then I went to break even when we broke these highs. We went back to my break even and shot right back up. I think that's what happened. It was quite frustrating, but yeah, break even. And then this next trade is way better because we do close above now that support with beautiful momentum. This trade was okay. The problem is we didn't have, I think on the futures we had more of a bottom wick, right? I trade on the futures. So we probably had more of a bottom wick on the futures. So my initial trade probably looked like this. And I think it probably went up. I broke even maybe a little bit too early, got a break even, and it went right back up. Frustrating day because I remember that day on gold. I trade a similar strategy on gold during Asia Open on the 5 minutes because gold doesn't, move that fast. And I had two break evens, very similar scenarios on gold that morning. So this is what happened. 2 break-evens on gold in the morning, 2 break-evens on New York, and then I just FOMO out of frustration that day, and I got what I deserved. This is not even my strategy. We broke out of this level, didn't even wait for a wick, just entered randomly. I absolutely got what I deserved. But you see, a day where I should have won 2 trades on gold and 2 trades on NQ, on NASDAQ, I should have been up $800 that day. Well, I was down 200 that day. So that happens. And this is where you gotta handle yourself psychologically. I made a whole video about this because the psychology is what's gonna get you. If you can't handle these days where things don't go your way, you're screwed. All right, let's go. Next trade. 8:30, first candle. Again, no surprise, they're grabbing some highs here. Not quite these ones. Maybe they grabbed them on the futures. We close below that level of support, breakthrough. Here, I'm not sure what happened. Maybe I think what it did, it went immediately down, so I didn't have my top wick. I think that's what happened. It went immediately down, then made a top wick and closed here, so no trade. This one, I then took a trade here, strong bearish into support, but where, again, this is small 1 minute support. It wasn't support really before. Yeah, you could say it was support really before. But again, huge momentum. We have some lows here. What are they? Are they not going to go for these lows? We know what these guys do, these psychopaths. They like to grab stop losses, right? This is the truth. So of course, if there's a strong bearish candle here, we see that they try, they tried to push price up, completely failed. We close here, of course, we're gonna go for these lows. We still wait for our top wick, right? We're not entering short from here because then we don't know where to put our stop loss. We don't know how far out that top wick is gonna go. So we wait for this, top wick, and then 1 to 1, okay? And again, 1 to 1.5, I'm moving now more to 1 to 1.5. I think I might go to 1 to 2, but I like 1 to 1.5. More recently, I've been taking a little bit larger profits. Okay, is this the first candle here? No, this is the first candle. So we have a fake out of this level of support, this kind of area here. Fake out, push right back up. We close above that level of support. We don't quite close above this level now. So is this trade ideal? No, but here was my logic, is that we didn't have, first of all, we didn't have a big wick, right? So it didn't really look like a liquidity grab where you have a big wick and then we close well below. We still closed very strong, very bullish. This one gave me a strong bottom wick with strong momentum, and I entered when I saw really price was going above these highs. So I didn't enter on the flip. First of all, we don't do that. I explained why. And I give it a little bit of space. And then, so at what time was this? This was at 8:32, so third candle. And then I was in this trade for probably a bit more than a minute, but you can see not much more, right? That's it. Just another beautiful example here. Not perfect, again, because we didn't actually perfectly close above, but very nice setup. Totally fair to take that. Okay, I'm just going to keep on showing you all of the examples until where we are now, the 8th of October, so until my last trade, which was yesterday. Okay, first candle, we close below. As you can see, although we close below, first of all, I don't take a trade on the second candle, but this one just didn't give us what we wanted. It gave us a top wick, but never really went down. This one, there's no entry here, guys, because now we're waiting for another strong bearish candle. So you're not entering on the top wick after this. You're not doing that because now you don't know, we don't have that bearish momentum anymore. We're not entering after this, not after this. It's just not good enough. And maybe you could, by the way, I'm sorry. This is actually what I did, my bad. After this, that was fair because we closed, not a very strong candle to be fair, but we closed at the support, but we have, again, we have these targets here. We have all of these lows that are just begging to be taken. And they are taken. Now we do have the momentum maybe to go all the way down here. As you can see, we did. Okay, so we did have some targets. It was a bit more risky, as you can see. It's just maybe this is a trade you shouldn't take if you're not too confident about it. It was feeling good to me because we kind of range here and we just had, again, a strong top wick. So a bit risky. This is a bit risky to be fair, but I liked my targets. Okay. Moving on. Do we have a loss here? What's going on? Or do we have a trade that we don't take? Oh, okay, that's interesting. So this trade I did not take, I believe. So we have a nice setup here because technically we're breaking above all of these highs here, this level, this area of resistance. We have a beautiful target. But after this candle, I believe what happened is that we didn't have much of a bottom wick and we actually went up kind of immediately and then closed bearish. So there was no trade here, which could have been a very nice setup. If we started with a bottom wick and then slingshot up, that would have been amazing. And now this was a fair trade, but not ideal. Loss I took here because this candle didn't close above. It didn't have that strong momentum, but I felt like, there was some nice targets up there, really nice targets up there. And then we have that nice slingshot. Late in the candle, I think what happened is it went down for like 45 seconds, and in the last 15 seconds, it started slingshotting to the upside. As you can see, I didn't even really wait for it to flip bullish completely. Not an ideal trade. Fair trade, but not ideal. Okay. What time was that? 8:39, that's 9 minutes into the open. Here, support, we're breaking it. First we bounce from it. This is the first minute candle. First of all, we grab some little highs here. Not really. Trap some longs, push down, react from that support. That's kind of nice because it confirms to you that's a significant support for the New York Open. Try to break it, we don't. And then now we have our beautiful bearish break. We have a bit of a wick, but it's not too big of a wick. We close below nicely and then top wick. And boom, we go down. As you can see, there was a bit more hesitation in the market at this point because we did go up, retest. This you didn't have. So wait, what time was that trade? 8:33. That was the 4th minute candle, okay? And then I'm not seeing any other setups here. Maybe this one, but again, I don't like these because this one breaks below this level of support here, right? This one breaks below, but it's not strong. It's got a bit, you know, the wick is almost like half the candle, and it would have worked out if you tried it, huh? But it's just, I don't like it because it's not strong, it doesn't have enough momentum. Okay, what else we got here? Do we have anything else? Was that yesterday? Yeah, that's yesterday, so that's my last trade. Let's have a look. That's interesting because it's a bit of a, kind of a difficult market here. But with ignore these levels. These are levels for today. So ignore these white lines here. But what happens, where is New York Open? Here, this is the first candle of New York. We go down, we're testing a small level of 1 minute support here. We push up, there's no trades, obviously, guys. Like we were just getting wicks all over the place. But I did tell myself, okay, if we reclaim that level of resistance here, right? It's resistance. We had a wick, pushed back down, but there's no trade for me here. If we reclaim it, close below, close above, I'm entering on a bottom wick. So here I remember this candle doesn't have a bottom wick, but it had a pretty decent, not a big one, but a pretty good enough bottom wick. What it did, it went down, retested this area and pushed right up. So that was a great trade. And I didn't aim at the highs. I just, I don't remember what that level was, but I just went for a 1-to-1 here because I felt the ranginess, right? I was smelling the ranginess. We didn't really go down, didn't really go up, and you can see it kept on doing that. Here, I think you could have had a loss here at 8:55, so 25 minutes. I was done trading for the day because of that, guys. If you see that, it's not looking too good. Here you had a decent setup, I think. If you had a bottom wick and it went up, you would have had a loss, but I don't know what happened there. I wasn't trading anymore. Okay, that's it. I mean, I don't know what else to say. No indicators, nothing. Oh, by the way, for my CVD people, because I just made another video on CVD just yesterday. Look, this is gold. I didn't take that trade because I took another. I'm going to show you the trade I took on gold actually, because it's similar to the strategy I just showed you on NQ. But look, beautiful CVD divergence. This is the daily open. We open here at 5 a.m. and at 8:10, 1 hour into the Asia open, we retest the daily open and a previous 1 hour level. This is the kind of technical analysis I do, right? And we get, what do we get? Higher lows on price and lower low on the CVD. We have absorption, aggressive sellers being absorbed at the daily open, at the previous 1 hour resistance, support resistance level. Then you wouldn't enter from here. I would have entered from here because we reclaimed also a 15-minute level. And then you have a beautiful trade just to the upside with the uptrend. Great trade. So CVD undefeated once again. Now the trade I took, again, because I want to be out of the charts as fast as possible. What happened here, that was the trade that I took. A little bit risky to be fair, but I just really liked the momentum on that trade. We had strong momentum. This is a bit more advanced. It's not as clear as the 1 minute strategy. But I just liked what I was seeing because we had a failure to the upside, strong bearish momentum. We do create a big wick here bouncing from this level. We failed to bounce and we have some very strong momentum again on this candle. And now for me, this whole support area doesn't really count anymore. because it's been mitigated kind of by that wick, okay? So I know that wick is kind of a gap now for me. This whole area is a gap for me to fill, okay? So this is why I was very happy to take that short. And again, this trade actually, it's a 5-minute candle. I was out of it in less than 10 seconds, really. I mean, there was big momentum towards the end of this candle. It started pretty slow and then it went aggressively down, closed like this. I was like, okay, I have to get into that momentum. But similar idea, right? Similar idea. I can, if you guys are interested, I can make a video more specific for gold, more specific for, it works during Asia, during London, during New York, this strategy. But for the 5-minute, and if you want to understand the kind of technical analysis I'm doing as well, just let me know in the comments. I might make a video about this. But a similar strategy to what we're doing here on NQ. All right, that's it for me today. Again, if you have any questions about anything, please ask them. I'm very happy to answer them in the comment or even in another video. Yeah, that's it for me today. I hope this works out for you. Do your back testing, do your homework, you know, look how this works. Figure out, just draw support and resistance just before the New York Open. Trade it on a demo account and you're gonna see it's gonna work amazingly for you. Like, I know this is not a lot of trades, but I think we had like an 80% win rate here, if not more. So it's really good. All right, guys, see you around.